Holy Hail Mary, Batman. It is Friday, and we're here at the noon hour every week talking about money, finances, and the things that make you money. Why not? So, Rob Morales, RCO Network, here every week on a Thursday, Friday, talking about your money and the ways we can help out. With a guest, as always, please welcome from Sacramento, the Satoshi himself, Sacramento Satoshi. There he is, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, you gotta say hi with an oomph. Gotta say hi.
Oh, hi.
But also today, we have a special guest on, Junior from, I'm guessing Sacramento as well. We didn't cover that part, but welcome, Junior. There he is.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. So like I said, this is Rob Morales, RCO Network, coming at you for information regarding your money, your finances, and anything we can help out with. You know, we're just a bunch of lay people. You know, we're just trying to figure this thing out together. And as we have this show every week, we hope to bring you information regarding not only the stock market, but the things we invest in and the ways we make money. So, again, hello, everybody.
How's it going, Robert?
Howdy. So, Junior, we have you on as a special guest today. My Satoshi, I was going to say my brother. He's Satoshi on the show.
I am your brother, but
but not on the show. We're supposed to be serious. But anyway, he brought you on the show. You know a little bit about crypto and some you invest yourself, from what I hear.
Yeah. I've been in the market for about 5 years. Before that, I was in Forex. Started learning how to trade back in 2005, 2006. So I jumped straight into Forex. And then I started learning about Bitcoin in 2011. And then finally got into the market in early 2017. So when Bitcoin had just cracked, I think it was around 2000. And
oh my God, 2000?
Yeah, it seems like a dream now. But yeah, I've just been 100% crypto since then.
So are you a Bitcoin millionaire now? So is that what you're suggesting? Is that what you're hinting?
No, I don't know if I'd actually divulge that, but I'm going to say no.
Are you calling us from your yacht right now? Where are you at? The Dune Seas, the Mediterranean? What part of the world are you in right now?
So I am in Sacramento, technically Elk Grove, which is south part of Sacramento.
Do they have yacht parking over there? Is that?
No, we have no big bodies of water here, so no yachts.
That sucks. But we're not here to talk about your yacht, Junior. We're here to talk about finances and Bitcoin a little bit. We'll get into Bitcoin in a minute, but what's going on in the market right now? Why are we here? Why are we here every week to help these people out? Satoshi.
Well, I think the big news this week was kind of the inflation print, and it came in at 7% again. So tells you that inflation is real and it's here. It's not temporary and it's big. So, if you have cash in your bank account, it's losing value. And so the question is always, what do I do at this point? What investments should I make? Because there's a lot of concerns still, with COVID increasing, and with this inflation, they need to raise interest rates, but and people are wondering, why aren't they raising interest rates? Everything is pretty much expensive, and it seems like the Fed is just kind of waiting, like, okay, well, we'll do what's necessary if prices keep going up. And so people get frustrated, like, well, they're already expensive. I see the costs going up.
And I think that's everywhere, right? I mean, I think as far as lay people and people out there just try and understand their own financial situation, I mean, things are just getting expensive. I mean, I hear news reports all the time about going to the grocery store. There's just zero on the shelves. There's, I think this week jobs filings were higher than expected. I think it was 230 versus 200. Unemployment claims filed. And the stocks, I think Kroger was on strike this week too, I saw. So Kroger is the grocery chain. So if you go to Fry's, if you're in Phoenix, it's Fry's. I think in Denver and in California, it's Kroger. So people are on strike. They want more money, and we're not making enough, correct?
We got to remember, so they say inflation is 7%, and we all know that the number is probably lower, or the inflation is probably higher than what they say, because they leave a lot of stuff out. Like we've talked before, they leave out food, they leave out energy, they leave out housing, and those are the things that are going up. And so if you think like, okay, we had 15% inflation last year, maybe 7% the year before. If you didn't get a 22% raise from your job the last couple of years,
Yep.
then you're losing money. And
And
that's where the
tradition,
concern comes from.
yeah, and traditionally, Junior, the markets have gone to, or people have gone to, like investing in the stock market. People have invested in hard assets like real estate and gold. Is there things that you're kind of moving and shifting things to? And you can talk about crypto, but we'll kind of save that for a little bit later too.
I'm 100% in crypto, and I just play around with some of the different cryptocurrencies because I'm a technical analyst, so I'm always looking at the charts and trying to see what has a good setup, and so I'll move money around from coin to coin, and something that I've been doing just for the last year is something called yield farming, which is where I'm not just putting money into cryptocurrencies and waiting for appreciation. What I'm doing is I'm trying to um, like compound, or I'm trying to earn yield on my assets.
And when you say yield, what does that mean? Like
Basically,
more.
just earning interest. So basically, just kind of like putting it into, like if you put money into a bank and as long as it's sitting there, you're just earning a yield on it. So you can do that with digital assets.
Are your yields up? I mean, if you invested in Bitcoin at 2,000, I'm sure your yield is a little bit higher than most people who invested. I invested in crypto. I got into it like 2 months ago. I mean, there was some hesitancy there. We talked about it with Satoshi a little bit. Hesitancy about getting in there because it's not a hard asset, and it's like, well, it's speculative, but yet everybody keeps talking about it. Other countries, and I'll put that up in a second. Other countries. Oh, well, I might as well do it now, are investing in Bitcoin and kind of moving towards that direction. In the way they're doing their financial, like was it Argentina or Brazil? I can't remember which country it is, but they're accepting cryptocurrency now as a form of payment on things. So it wasn't until like 2 months ago that I actually put some money in there, and I didn't really put a whole lot. I put like $2,500 just to kind of see where things were going, and I think I screwed up. I think I got in the game a little bit late, or maybe I got in at the right time when everybody's still kind of questioning it. Satoshi?
I don't think it's too late. I think as far as adoption goes, we're still pretty early. I don't know what you see, Junior, but I think adoption is still probably in the single digits. As far as I mean, because this is a global thing, so it can go all around the world, and there's 9 billion people. So, but yeah, so this plays into the idea of the game theory, where you know you're going to see people, or let's say countries, for example, looking at other countries like El Salvador, Tonga. Like these are all small little countries, but so Tonga just committed to buying, um, uh, or there's many countries that are presenting, and it's a process where they want to start purchasing or valuing some of their money in Bitcoin,
Yep.
and it doesn't happen right away. But as this occurs, you'll see other countries looking and saying, "Well, I don't want to be left behind. Maybe I need, and I need to." There was the article from Fidelity basically saying like it may behoove you to just put a little bit in. Maybe put 1 to 5%, like we've been talking about,
'Cause
as an insurance policy
I'm
in
down
case.
23% right now.
Yeah, I know that, but
I came in at the wrong time.
remember, it's a long term. You've had it for what, 2 months?
Well, I come in on 3 months now, so yeah.
But so yeah, so if adoption continues, and then like other countries like Russia, Iran, these countries that get sanctioned with U.S. dollars, they would love to see oil denominated in Bitcoin. Um, so I mean, it could, like, again, I
Take
think
off, maybe.
adoption will continue, and that's so. But you need price appreciation over time.
And you're talking about like a long-term projection in the utility of Bitcoin, but you still got a lot of hesitation in getting it. Just like somebody like me, it's like, well, I don't want to throw my money into some funny money, But if you think about the dollar fiat currency, it's kind of funny money too. What do you think, Junior?
Um, First of all, I
Oh
know you
boy.
said you're down like 20, 23, 25%.
Yep.
That's probably a rite of passage
I'm a Shiba millionaire. I got 2 million shares of Sheeb, man.
I also was in on that big Shiba Inu pump last year.
Oh,
But
you were the one.
um, yeah, don't feel bad because when I first got in, I was down 33% within like 2 weeks. So, you know, but just as Henry was saying, this is a long-term play. It is volatile, but it's volatile to the upside. And so I think a lot of people are scared of the volatility, but I think the volatility is actually what will outperform other markets over time. So, volatility is your friend. Now, I say that because I'm a trader, but I do believe in the long term, as long as you hold or hodl, you'll be up. I think statistically, if you've been in Bitcoin for, I've seen it heard, and actually I've seen the charts. If you've been in Bitcoin for more than 4 years, no one's ever lost money. Um,
So I
so
need to stay in for 4 years.
statistically, yes.
But just the idea of the NGU technology, for that, Junior, the number go up.
Number go
So
up.
yeah. So if you have something, you just remember everything's denominated in dollars, right? So your real estate, your stocks, and your Bitcoin are all denominated in dollars. And so that's the value of Bitcoin, is when you have something that's fixed, like real estate, and you have the dollar that's going to depreciate, right? At the worst case scenario, the government wants to depress the dollar by 2% a year. Okay,
Yeah.
but now it's gotten out of control, and now it's going up 7 to 15% a year. So when you have something that's fixed against something that's going to go down, mathematically over time, the value of that fixed thing is going to go up. It's just like real estate. So
So
that's the value in it. So,
so
but
the
the short
question.
term, of course, short term you could buy and it could go down, but that's just manipulation of the market, and that's in every market. People short and people
Yeah.
leverage it, which swings the price all around. But if you're not doing that, if you're just saving as a store of value over time, then it doesn't. You don't really want to worry about the short term.
Yeah, it's almost like buying a house. I mean, I represent, I guess, the real estate end of this show. That's my primary business. And when I purchased a home in late October, and I felt I was purchasing on the high, but I also bought my condo 5 years ago, feeling the same way, that I purchased on the high end of the market, thinking there was going to be a tremendous downswing. And 5 years later, I'm like looking at the same condo that I bought for 80,000. Now it's selling in just over 200. So there's a tremendous amount of growth in that short amount of time in this market. And so I'm anticipating and hoping. And this kind of leads to the question that was posed by the audience. Prices are going up. Where do I put my money to invest? I've parked a good sum of that, with my wife into a strong asset. So real estate has historically been a strong asset. Gold has been historically a strong asset. If you look at gold prices, they're pretty stable. You don't see the fluctuation like you do in Bitcoin or some of these, cryptos. It's very stable. I mean, I think it's been between 17 to 1800 an ounce for like the last 2 years. No growth, but it's stable. It's a safe place to go where you're not losing and you're really not gaining. And if anything, you're probably losing out on inflation, but it's stable. Junior?
Yeah. I know there's a big gold versus Bitcoin crowd out there. I'm on Twitter every day, and I see that all the time. Yeah, it is stable, and for anyone that's like risk averse, probably a good play. Though because I'm 100% crypto, I do see other plays where you could earn on your dollars and beat inflation. So even if you weren't, if you didn't have an appetite for some of the volatility, you can still just be in these things called stable coins, which is for your audience that aren't familiar. Stable coins are basically a cryptocurrency that's whose value is pegged to the dollar, so it doesn't fluctuate like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Doge. It's always just a dollar,
Yeah.
and so if anyone doesn't have that risk appetite, they can just be in stable coins and just put their money into a you call them a crypto bank, and just earn a yield on that, which will beat inflation, or it'll beat gold for sure. Um, and
Yeah,
so
because
you
I want to say I think we're in an environment where a lot of people, because of that fear, they don't want to lose money at this point. They're skeptical on where they can gain money. And crypto, I think, is a good place for that. But you really got to understand the functionality behind it, at least at this point, how it fluctuates and how people are trading it. I think stocks are kind of up in the air too, because especially this last week, I think my whole portfolio is down like 30%. And I sold some. Okay, I did sell some stuff earlier this week, thinking that I trimmed off some fat basically on the stocks that I was at least 15% on. I just trimmed those, but kept all the other ones, and I just keep seeing that portfolio go down a little bit. And a couple of them are gold mining stocks. I'm still hopeful, and I'm still optimistic that area will pick up, but I have no idea. And I think because of that fear, people are looking for something more stable. And I think people want to believe in Bitcoin. I mean, I definitely believe it, and especially when you see like the SHIB like skyrocket earlier this year. I'm like, oh shit, that's a good place to go. And then it just completely goes the other way. There are just I think we're all looking for safety, and there's really no, at least in my mind, safety outside of real estate and other hard assets. I just don't know which other ones other than real estate right now, and which is where I think a lot of the saturation, a lot of the volatility, or I should say the scarcity and supply issues in real estate are really due to that. People are knowing that they can't put their money in stocks right now. They don't trust Bitcoin completely, even though they like it. Where do you put your money right now? And like I said, answering the question. Okay, where do we put your money to invest? For me, I'm putting in real estate because I think that's long term, strong, and it has a significant bounce back, especially after a crisis or a virus. You guys, anything, any insight on the crypto side? Is there one coin better than the other? Because the next question Angela had was, is crypto a smart investment with this pandemic?
So I guess I can talk a little bit about that. So for me, like I think I've said it before, I kind of divide everything into three parts. And so, and it's all about how much risk you want to take. So real estate is relatively more stable. It moves a lot slower over time. So I usually put a third of my money in there, and then another third I dollar cost average into stocks, and then the other third I do a little more risky stuff, which is where my crypto is.
Well,
But I think
when you say dollar cost average, what does that mean?
that means that so I have a job, and every paycheck I put 10% of my money into an S&P 500 index. And I've been doing that for 20 years. And you do it over time.
Oh, that's a smart one.
But that's kind of the old traditional way that if you go to a financial advisor and you say, "What do I do with my money?" They will tell you dollar cost average over time. The only difference is that I'm not a big bond person, just because I've shown how I feel about bonds is if inflation is at 7% and bonds are giving you 1%, then you're losing money. It's just like your gold. If you look at gold over the last 10 years, it's been flat, like you said, but
Yep.
you have inflation. So really you've lost money if you've been in gold. Bitcoin over the last 10 years has been a greater inflation hedge than gold has. But over the and then a lot of people consider crypto as risky, and I think it's just because people don't understand, or because there's low adoption of it.
Yep.
There's a small number of people. It can be more volatile. People get scared of that. But I see a lot of the retail investors starting to get nervous and get fearful. But you see a lot of the big institutions and big wallets, people with money buying more of it. Um, and and so if you look at like real estate, like you're saying, real estate's great, but I mean it's doubled. I mean since 2012, it's 3-4 times gone up. Stock market's kind of the same thing. We're still kind of close to an all-time high. Um, but my third of a riskier stuff like the stocks, I I think for this year my general theme has been to get out of riskier things and go to the more stable things. So I'm trying to take money out of the quick make a buck, like let me buy this and double it real quick. No, I want, because people are concerned, and like if inflation continues, the government needs to raise interest rates, and they may try, and that's going to
Yeah.
rattle markets. So you're going to see more volatility. So I think there's going to be a general trend towards like more stable stuff. Like, so I'm buying Tesla, Nvidia, Google, all those things. I sent you like a chart of,
Am I putting that up now?
yeah, you can show the one of Nvidia. So this is kind of what I do on my trading view. I try to put down trend lines, because there's can be a
Yeah.
lot of emotion involved when you're buying and selling things. And so if you can, and I'm a very visual guy, so I'll just put the trend lines down. And for me, these are like the levels that I see, for example, for Nvidia. And when I see it come down and start to hit that line, to me that's a signal like, okay, I'm going to start buying some more. And not to say that going forward, let's say if they raise interest rates and there's a big sell off, it might go down to those other two lines. But in general,
Yeah.
those are the times where I want to buy. So if it breaks down and goes through that line and goes down to the next one, then I'll buy some more, and I'll buy some more, because I want to go into the quality names. And I think the same thing with crypto, maybe this year, is people will move away from like the riskier stuff, the Shiba Inus and that kind of stuff, and go more to their quality. And for me, the quality is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we can talk a little bit about the DeFi layer ones, but like Ethereum is number one. It's the big guy,
Yeah.
and so I always like to bet on the number one guy. And then as a hedge to that, I have some Solana, so that's probably my number two. Like, how do you allocate your crypto, Junior? Like, do you, as far as percentages, are you a big like, how much is in the stable coins and the other stuff?
Um, right now, I actually calculated last night. Uh, right now, Bitcoin is my number one holding still, but it's at like 28% of my portfolio. Ethereum's at around 22%, and then so half of my portfolio is other altcoins.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of it in, as you were saying, layer one smart contracts, smart contract platforms, which is what applications are built on, like Ethereum. So I've got like a basket of those. Some more smaller market cap ones. Let me actually look at my portfolio right now. And so some of these plays, um, so like some that I'm into right now are Terra Luna, Cardano, Avalanche, Harmony One, and Phantom. So these ones I'm really into, especially because some of them are really they're built for DeFi, and that's probably been my focus for the last year. But I'm also into other ones. Some other plays that I started to get into last year were some of the gaming metaverse NFT platforms, and people have probably heard of NFTs and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. They blew up last year, and so some of those, the ones that I like are Gala Games, Engine, Efinity. Engine's a gaming token. It's a gaming company. Efinity is a play on the metaverse. So I don't know if you guys have
Is
been
it
looking into
Axie
the
Infinity?
metaverse.
We've talked about the metaverse a little bit, but as we
Yeah.
go down, I think the crypto rabbit hole, there's so many different coins that people get into, and in terms of the audience, I think and this goes to the Angela's question, and we got about 5 minutes left, by the way. In terms of like Angela's question, investing and taking her money. She's asking, does she take her money out of the bank and then invest it in crypto? Somebody sounds to me, Satoshi, that you're more of kind of like a broad platform. You kind of put your money in different pieces of that. Where Junior, it sounds like, and you said it at the beginning of the show, I'm 100% crypto. And I'm totally in. I'm sure. I don't know if the Junior Fear Index is really high right now, or what's going on over there. But I think for somebody like Angela, they just want to know, hey, can I just go buy Bitcoin and call it a day and make more money than I would at the bank? And would today be the day?
I think it depends on, like, so how much money do you have, and what are you using it for? Like Junior saying, let's say I have $20,000 and I want to build a pool next year, putting it, so you have to look at the risk. So I think Bitcoin is probably the less risky, um, and then some of these smaller coins are going to be more risky, but with more risk come more gain. But let's say I don't want to risk my 20,000. I need to build a pool next year. Then you could do something more like what he's saying, like a stable coin where you can put it in as a stable coin and earn like 10%.
Well, don't buy a pool
over the
because
next year.
pools only give you about half the reciprocating value on a home. So if you want a pool, so this is the real estate part of me. If you want a pool, buy a house with a damn pool in it, but you'll regret it after you buy it. I will tell you that. You're like
or whatever you're going to buy. If you're going to buy
Yeah.
a car or whatever. let's
okay,
say.
fine, a car. We'll change it to a car. Junior.
Yeah, so right now, fear is high in the crypto markets. I think
Yep.
there's actually a measurement for fear. It's called the Fear and Greed Index, and it's uncanny how it can really call tops and bottoms sometimes. But right now we're at peak fear, um, especially if you're a trader, which I am. There are some concerning patterns in the market right now. I don't know if do you want me to show some of the charts and scare everyone, but then kind of bring us back.
No, well, we got about 3 minutes. I would normally, but we're running close to the end of the show. But
Okay.
I
So,
I completely get it.
I'll just say, it is there's a lot of fear in crypto right now, but in my experience, this is probably and again, like you were saying, my risk tolerance is pretty high, because I am full, like I'm numb to a lot of these market dips in crypto now. Like last year during the
Yeah.
big mid-year dip, um, I've never divulged this, but like my portfolio was down six figures, and I kind of was just like, okay, um, because again, like I'm a believer in it long term, and I've never cashed out, and
Yeah.
I've done pretty well just holding
Well,
and then trading.
the
But
thing that that Henry and I bring up all the time is like we were talking about this yesterday, is that people want to get into it, and so many people are afraid just to even take that step into it, that they look for a reason to blame you for like, oh well, crypto's down, 20,000. That's why I stay out of that thing. You're down, your portfolio's down six figures. We better stay out of that one. You're wrong. You're wrong. But then when they put it in, they win. It's like, hey, I'm winning. It's just a weird sentiment, the weird way people respond to other people who are in crypto, and they're usually not in it.
There's a lot. Do you feel like there's? I was talking to Robert earlier in the week about this. Like, there's so many like almost like crypto haters that I run into. Like people they were asking me like 2 years ago, what should I buy? And I'm like, well, I would be buying Bitcoin, and this is why. This was like when it was under 10,000. It's like, oh, okay, all right, and they never did it. And so now every time when I see them at work and crypto's down, they'll say, oh, it's down a lot, right? And it's like, yeah, and it's like, well, like, why are you bringing this up? And it's, I don't know. Do you get a lot of haters that are not into it and kind of wish that they were, or?
Oh, yeah, like especially with my family and friends. Like I've had people, try to send me articles, every now and then. They're like, "Oh, so I hear Bitcoin's down 30%." I'm like, yeah, just stuff like that. I've had to deal with that a lot over the years. But I will say this: some of those haters have actually gotten into the market, and then they've done pretty well over the last 2-3 years. So now they're happy that they came around.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, because we did bring this up before the show. For anyone that's sort of fearful of the markets right now and just want to earn a little bit of yield, there are some platforms where you can put your money, your crypto, and earn a very easy and safe yield on it. And so, if you want me to, do you want me to show?
Yeah,
Just
yeah. Go
real
ahead and
quick?
show that.
Okay. So yeah, if you can see this, so this is one that's built on the Terra blockchain, and so it's called Anchor Protocol. And so all you got to do is convert your dollars into a stable coin, which again, a stable coin is just pegged to the value of the dollar, so it'll always be a dollar. And so you just bring it in here, and as you can see right here, you can earn 19.47% APY. You know, if you're afraid to hold on to cryptocurrencies, and you're basically just earning over 19% on your dollars.
How much percentage do you get in a savings account, Junior? How much do you get in your savings account at the bank?
You know, I don't know, because I don't have any money in a savings account in a bank. Like most of my money, just after I get paid, because I also do work a normal job, I convert most of it that I don't use for expenses into crypto. And so every once in a while, I'll park some of it in stable coins, and then I'll just put it into protocols like this, where you can earn an easy 19%. And there are even safer ones where you can earn, 8 to 10%. And
so yeah, totally I'll go on a limb and say it's less than 1%. So you can either make 19% on this app owning cryptos, or you can make less than 1% at the bank. You decide. You alone. You decide. So as we wrap up the show today, we're over about 2 minutes, but Henry, do you have any last words? We're going to give the last word to Junior. For the week.
Okay. Well, I would so my suggestion is if you're interested in crypto, and I've said it before, is you can just dollar cost average, and you can start with Bitcoin, you can start with Ethereum. Those are kind of the bigger, safer bets. I think going forward, there's a lot of institutions buying Ethereum right now and buying Bitcoin, and also it's expected that a lot of countries may legalize it this year. Also, you have hopefully there will be an approval for an ETF maybe by the summertime. So that's another way also, is you can, if you have, let's say you have some money in an IRA, you can always buy GBTC. It's at over 20% discount.
Yeah, let me look at that.
And it could be this is sometimes my suggestion. Like if it's difficult, you don't have a lot of cash laying around, but you want to have some exposure, I always suggest buy some GBTC in an IRA account. Sometimes people have a little bit of money in there, and that's another way to get exposed. But I would just start with the big ones, and then you might get interested in other things, and you can also buy them, like Junior was saying. Like Celsius, we've talked about it before. You can buy Bitcoin on there and earn 5% while it's just sitting in there. But you want to give it at least a year.
So you're saying I should hodl my little 30% loss on my Bitcoin for at least a year?
Yeah, give it a year. Let's look a year from now and see where you are with your crypto.
Well, $100,000 Bitcoin is coming up, from what I hear. I heard it was going to be Christmas. Now I hear it's going to be Easter. It might be 4th of July by the time it comes around. I don't know. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to be a hodler. I'm going to hold.
But you could say the same thing about your house. Your house will one day be $1 million. When will it be $1 million? I cannot give you a time, but sometime in the future, everybody's house will be $1 million. And it's inevitable because, remember, the dollar, all fiats eventually go to zero. Okay, if you look at the dollar from 100 years ago, it's only
what a hater on the dollar.
What's that?
Junior's agreeing with you. Look at it. You can see the smile in his face.
So anyway,
yes, sir. Then Junior, last words to you.
Yeah. So as a trader, I try to stay plugged into the market, to the crypto market. I still believe that we have at least one more impulse wave up, and this is when we will get the $100K or 100K Bitcoin. And so I say, if anyone's getting into it, don't mind the short-term volatility. Just something to hodl long-term. And good luck.
Well, it sounds like Junior's in it to win it. So we're here every week. We ran over on time, but I kind of figured that. We had a new guest this week, so why not? But if you want to tune in every Friday, we're going to be talking more about Bitcoin, probably. Most likely, it's the topic of conversation. Angela wants to know. Everybody wants to know about Bitcoin. So tune in every week on Thursday, or I keep doing that. Fridays at the noon hour, we will talk about money, talk about your finances, and hopefully I'll give you some tips or two. Not that we're financial advisors, we just like money. Till next week. See you guys.